Hey guys, Andy here. Another exciting day in the Android Andy UK household. So last week I unboxed my brother's Nexus 5X, and today I have my very own 6P. How exciting! And yes, I am doing another late night unboxing, because I wasn't going to wait till tomorrow evening. I've been on the late shift. Come on, is that supposed to slide off, or I don't want to tear it, do I? Maybe I do. I should have watched someone else's unboxing, really. Here we go, I'm going to peel. Probably should have just slid it somehow, but that seemed pretty... I'll stick it back together later if I need. Oh no, it is actually... it is stuck on at that point, look, so yeah. I could have been sat here pulling at that for 5 minutes. Recyclable or recycled. There's the P for premium, I believe. Doesn't feel. It's funny. I just unboxed the other day the OnePlus 2, and the box felt really premium, kind of almost a rubberized, and this does feel like recycled cardboard. Fair play, you know. I'm not saying that's wrong. Nexus. So much like the 5X, we've got a little sort of pull tab reveal. Got some instructions there, look, on how to operate a phone. Oh, it's saying there. Oh, it shows. I like that. It shows actually where the NFC is. I was trying to look that up on my Note 5 the other day and couldn't find out where. We're not going to touch the phone just yet. But over here we have the USB Type-C charger. Type-C at both ends, you'll notice. So obviously we're hoping that this has the Type-C. There we go. It'll go in either way around. Doesn't matter which way around we want to plug. That's still quite a big, bulky... Obviously they've got the old slide out. That's still quite a big and bulky charger for... you get the nice tiny little USB-C connector. But you got a big old chunk of a plug. I got a few spare USB-C cables, but that's the first one I've got USB-C to USB-C. The other ones I've got A to C, if that makes sense. It is worth pointing out maybe that you can plug obviously into the bottom of the phone and then into the bottom of somebody else's phone, and you can decide one to be a donor to another, and you can charge their phone from your phone. I think that's quite cool. That could be very handy. Must be either a time when you've been out with a mate and their battery's dying and you're on like 90%, or vice versa, where your battery's dying and they're like, no, I just charged mine. Help a brother out. Ooh. So, try Google Play Music 90 days on us. I'm more a bit annoyed actually because I think the Americans got some Play Store credits, and I don't believe we do. Oh, there's a SIM ejection tool we will need. Safety and warranty. That's all quite nicely packaged. Oh, there we go. So that's a Type A. Look, Type A to Type C. So you get one of each. Handy, I guess. Pop those back in there. So now to the fun bit. First thoughts, it feels very thin, especially compared to, for the bulk of the last 12 months I've been using the Nexus 6, and it is, I mean obviously it's a big device, but it is actually quite chunky, it's quite thick. This one comes at only 7.3 millimeters. As you can see, it's the graphite. Unibody design. It feels good. The protruding bar at the top there, but it really doesn't protrude very much, I don't think. And actually, it stabilizes the device on a desk, which is something I do point out in some of my reviews. I like that I can put a device and then just use it. The only thing that worries me now, the fingerprint sensor, obviously. You're going to have to do that to unlock it and then go back. Might not be a big thing, we'll see. See how we get on. So, some of the specs from the device. 5.7-inch screen. The screen is 1440 pixels by 2560. Where's the pixels per inch on that? 518 pixels per inch, pretty good. The snapper on the back there is only a 12 megapixel, or is it like 12.7? Is it, to be precise? Let's just call it 12. But it films in 4K, I believe, and it's got larger. It's basically got larger sensors or larger pixels. So the theory being it performs better in dark light, because when you've got a larger, it's kind of like, if I don't know how do you explain it, a larger target. If you throw the light at it, it's going to collect more of it because it's bigger. You know, if you had a row of buckets on the ground in a grid, small buckets are only going to capture small bits of water if you throw a bucket of water over them, but bigger buckets will catch more of the water. Does that make sense? So bigger pixels catch more of the light, therefore better performance in the dark. On the front, sorry, I'm as I always do, I'm looking through GSM Arena to get me specs off. Not me specs as in spectacles, the specs of the device, and I can't see the flaming front-facing camera. Second, 8 megapixels, sorry, and can film at 720p. The rest of the internals, so Corning Gorilla Glass 4 with oleophobic coating. So in theory, we don't actually. That looks work quite well actually. We don't get the old greasy fingerprints. Obviously, it's running Marshmallow. I'm going to start booting it while I'm talking about the specifications, because the first boot might take a little bit of time. So yeah, it's running Marshmallow with things like doze mode. So I'm hearing of people getting only 2% battery drop overnight, because after half an hour there's a specific sensor in here now for sensing movement and other bits and pieces like that. And so when it realises you've not been doing anything for 30 minutes, it basically kicks it down into a proper low powered mode, shuts off a lot of things that you don't really need basically. And then as soon as it gets, that's quite quick, as soon as it detects movement, then it goes back to, there we go, back to regular mode. Where did I get to? Screen, Marshmallow. So the processor is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 810. A lot of people worried about temperatures with that, but though I'm sure that I can't imagine they'd produce a phone and then have all the have heat issues. And also it's a unibody, so sure that's gonna that'll dissipate. I think that's the right word. The heat anyway. The processor, we've got 2 quad cores. We've got a 1.5 gigahertz A53 and we've got a 2 gigahertz A57. And then where I'm up to, then the GPU is an Adreno 430. So I'm quickly gonna log in to my Wi-Fi. Keyboard's certainly nice and fast. I didn't get as far as the RAM. So 3 gig of RAM in the device, which actually a little bit less than some. My Note 5, for example, has 4 gig. My OnePlus 2 that I've got at the moment has 4 gig. So yeah, 3 gig. I mean, I still think it'd be enough. I've used my Moto G 3rd gen at 1 gig, and actually generally it's not bad performance. When you've got stock Android, I don't think perhaps you need as much RAM as maybe some of the others. This one comes with 32 gig of storage, and again, a lot of discussion on the internet about 32 isn't enough, ridiculous, there's no SD card slot. I'm having to wait until 64 gig or 128 gig even is available. But for me, I use the cloud a lot. I don't carry, I don't play a lot of games. I don't carry movies and stuff like that around with me. 32 generally is fine. Part of me thinks, maybe I should have got 64, because every now and then I do get a bit close to 32 and have to delete some stuff off. And it might be nice to have thought, I don't need to worry about that. But at the same time, the 32 gigs have come out first, so I'm kind of glad that I've done that. It does feel very nice actually in my hand now. You can't. When I used to buy a lot of Samsung devices, I remember the S2. I loved the S2, and a lot of people said, it's plasticky. And I would defend the wafer-thin plastic back cover, saying I didn't mind the plastic. And I didn't. I wasn't lying. I didn't mind it. But I do have to admit that the unibodies, sort of the solid metal unibodies, they do feel very nice in the hand. So it's relatively weighty. It's 178 grams. Let's just put it next to... So that's my Note 5, which might not be the best reference for a lot of people out there because the Note isn't available in Europe. But so the Nexus 6P slightly taller. If we get the screens obviously, I think they're both 5.7 inches. But the Nexus 6P, yeah, it's a bit taller, but I think that's about it really. Slightly wider. I will do a separate video comparing it to a variety of different phones size-wise. So, let's see, open Google Settings, open other device, open the Google Settings, alright, anyway, let's skip that for now. Checking info. So I think I've been through all the specs. I've mentioned the 12 megapixel camera. I'm looking forward to seeing how that performs. The 8 megapixel front facing. I think front facing cameras have become more and more, I don't know if important's the right word, but I guess definitely more and more used more and more. So again, I'll be checking that. Sorry, I'm just logging into my. Yeah, accept. Yeah, so the front-facing camera actually, it is quite important. You know, we do. I'll say I take a reasonable amount of selfies. That's the new trend. And you do want. Oh, hang on. Yeah, not now. Thank you. Yeah. Let's set up the fingerprint. Unlock with fingerprint. There we go. Set up Nexus imprint. Oh, wait, did I miss something? To use your fingerprint to unlock the screen or confirm it, you'll need to. Yeah, so. Oh, backup method, sorry. Backup, of course. Actually, that's not. Let's go with a password. Yeah, password to start because I'm going to be encrypted anyway. So I can use it for, well, if I keep this my daily, I'll be encrypting it because I use it for work and that needs encryption. So we just right. So locate the yeah right. I've done that. Oh, just locate it. Don't press it. Right. Put your finger on the sensor and lift. Move your finger slightly. See that it's getting. To wake and unlock your phone, just touch the Nexus imprint sensor. When you see this icon here, you can use it. Yeah. I won't add another just yet. I will do later. Oh, okay. So we can nick all it. Yeah, I think we might as well do that because I may well be using it as my main device, but it might take a bit of time to do all the restore. So what I'll perhaps do, I think at this point, have I got anything else I need to tell you specs wise? I didn't mention the battery. So, let me just check if that was my note. No, I thought that might be my note saying you're being restored from. So the battery is 3,450 milliamp hours, which actually is pretty big, even by today's standards. I think my note is 3,000, and I think my Nexus 6 was 3,300. So actually, that's a pretty hefty battery. So combine that with doze mode, and I'm wondering if maybe it's going to be the first device really that I'll only charge every other night. Well, probably not. Even if I don't need to, normally I'll charge it overnight to be safe. Excuse me, hiccups. What else to know? It is available in two other colours, graphite and frost. I'm not sure. Aluminium and frost. This is the graphite, of course. I'm not sure the frost is available yet. I think I saw someone saying there's a bit of a delay on the frost, but I'm not entirely sure. I suppose we've not actually looked around the outside of it. We looked to the back, the sensor, the Nexus. So then we've got the power button and the volume rocker. The power button has I don't know if you can see that, has kind of a grated, textured, feel to it. Front-facing speakers, which I've heard are very good. Not literally heard. I've heard someone say they're very good. There's the slot for the SIM card on the side. On the bottom is, of course, the reversible USB-C input. I'm a bit confused by the whole fast charging technology. I think this has got kind of a fast charge, but it's a different version because it's for USB-C. So it's not quick charge 2.0 like a lot of the others have. Right, we're going to try the old. I don't know how well you'll be able to see. Now this did happen the first time I did the Nexus 5X, so hopefully. Oh, okay. Oh, there's a system update already. Let's choose Nova Launcher as my launcher. We've got a system update. It's restoring 122 applications. So probably best because it's going to... Should I just stop them and carry them on? Whoa. Not sure what that's doing. Come back out for the minute. Let's see if we can get to... See if we can get to YouTube. We'll just try playing a video. We get to test the speaker and have a look at the screen. Actually, one thing, while we've got a fairly white screen, because this one of the comments was that the screen perhaps wasn't bright enough. Now, first impressions to me, that looks pretty bright. I can't imagine that not being. I suppose so that's on full blast. Let's bring in the Note 5. And you can see where I have the Note 5 that it is a bright screen. Yeah, I think the Note is brighter, but it's not. I don't know. Is that all that noticeable? We'll see. I suppose we'll see when it's well, I was gonna say when it's a bright day and I'm trying to use it, but that might not be for 6 or 7 months. So I think the screen looks very, very good myself. Obviously, 500 odd pixels per inch is going to look nice, crisp, and clear. But I think that's bright. It's a nice white to it. The blacks look nice and deep and dark. Let's have a look. I've got into Edge recently. I didn't realise. I remember the one track that he did, the sort of slow, sort of girly song, but I didn't realise he did funky stuff like this. Those speakers sound really good. I don't know how well. Maybe I'll try and get some audio off the camera that you're looking through, because the directional mic that I use to actually talk into probably can't pick that up too well. But that sounds really good. Lost on the side, I've been sad with you for most of the night, ignoring everybody. And my Wi-Fi is not. Come on, Wi-Fi not keeping up. Sounds really good though. I mean, that's one of the things that drew me to keeping the Nexus 6. I do like nice, loud, good sounding speakers. And they do sound very good. Let's just put the brightness back down to a normal level. So camera, I did just nip outside during you might have noticed the little break. Where are those? I've nipped outside and oh, okay, yep. Thank you. Oh, take a picture, why don't you? So it took a picture, why didn't it? So let's try that. That's pretty quick. Let's put HDR on and see. Oh yeah, I'm used to being able to swipe in from the side. So there we go, just finished processing the HDR. So I mean that looks pretty good. No problems there. If we go back, so I went outside and took one picture. The weird thing, this had a flash on, but I think it also did HDR. It's pretty dark out there. You know, what time is it now? 10 to 10. We're getting into the winter. The clocks have gone back, and it is quite dark. You know, not gonna lie. And this is without the flash and without HDR, actually, for that matter. I think. I thought HDR was on, but I think it wasn't. So I mean, the one with the flash and HDR, that looks pretty fantastic, I would say. Then I took a bit of video. Nothing too exciting, just my kitchen window and then that same bit of sort of dirt that the lights shed onto. And then up into the sky, and it's just, well, it looks a little bit dark. So hard to say at this point. Obviously, I'll do better camera tests than that. It's worth pointing out actually that you can double press power to open the camera. That's pretty quick there. Look. Let's try that once more. Oh. Although it didn't snap when I first pressed there. Anyway, so I don't know. Oh, I'm quite excited by it though. That does. I'll give it. It does look a little bit darker now. I've put the brightness down. It feels a very nice phone. The fingerprint sensor very fast. Let's just. Can you see when I'm? It's certainly very stylish. I think it's a reasonable. It feels good in the hand. It's reasonable. It's thinner than the Nexus 6, both in width and depth, which makes it feel like a much better device, I think. So, if you haven't already, subscribe, because I'll be doing various camera tests. I'll be doing some head-to-heads, definitely against the Note 5, against last year's Nexus 6 probably, against the OnePlus 2 because of that at the moment. I'll be doing video tests, I'll be doing head-to-heads. I'll do my speaker test, I'll do battery test, and then obviously the actual review. And I'm thinking, so last year I was using the Note 4. I was thinking that was going to be my main device for the next God knows how long. Then the Nexus 6 came along and kind of, I wouldn't say blew my mind, but I really wasn't expecting a device as good as that. And I had a really, really tough time deciding between the Note 4 and the Nexus 6. And I've got a funny feeling I'm going to have a similar tough decision between these two. So I'll probably make a video on just about that decision if I can make it. I might have tossed in a coin. We'll see. So there we go. Early impressions, I think, are very, very good. I'm really looking forward to the next week or two. Sometimes I get a phone to review and I almost dread reviewing it because it's not going to be a great device, but I need to use it for a week or so. But I've been genuinely excited to get home to do the unboxing and then to be able to use the device for the next, well, for however long I want, I suppose. But I'll get the review done in, I don't know, a week, 10 days, something like that. So subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Let me know your thoughts on the Nexus 6P. Do you have one? Have you gone for this colour? Have you gone for a bigger size? I try and reply to most comments in my video, so, you know, strike up a conversation, feel free. That's all from me, though, now. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.